My name is George Buchanan. I'm here as a representative from the PSPnO campaign group, which was formed in Oxford to oppose the proposed Waterways PSPO. The PSPO was drafted with consultation from housed residents and landowners and very little consultation from residential boat owners, despite the fact that the terms are going to primarily affect us. It will grant powers to the Council on an unprecedented scale, effectively allowing the Council to become the managing authority for stretches of land with no registered owner. It will additionally criminalise all kinds of normal boating behaviour. For example, all boaters will now require prior permission from a landowner before mooring their boats. This is both impractical and in most cases impossible. People who live in residential boats have solid fuel stoves in order to heat their homes and engines for generating electricity. Both of these activities are protected under international human rights laws, and both of these things would be criminalised under the PSPO on the basis that they create smoke, noise and fumes. This means that people's homes may not be able to have lighting, running water or power. If you are in breach of the order, there is a £100 on-the-spot fine, or a court summons, or a £1,000 fine if you fail to appear in court. This can be enforced by the police, a council officer, or indeed could be outsourced to a third party. Think G4S. In the winter months, the rivers of Oxford will flood. Under flood conditions, it is not safe to move a boat, and this can last for a number of weeks or even a number of months. We are deeply worried that boaters are going to be intimidated into moving in unsafe times and will be intimidated in not being able to power or heat their homes. We are also concerned about the effect this order will have on antisocial behaviour on the waterways, because we know that boats can have an antisocial deterring effect. The PSPO is too poorly worded and non-specific to be enforceable, unless it is the objective of Oxford City Council to ban all mooring in Oxford. It is worth mentioning that boaters have historically been subject to harassment at the hands of Oxford City Council. There was an incident very recently where a council officer climbed on board a boat that had broken down, began shouting at the boat owner and would not leave, and the police had to be called in order to remove this council officer. We are very concerned that these tensions are going to escalate if the PSPO comes into effect. We've already seen a number of ordinary residential boaters in Oxford threatened by the PSPO, despite the fact it has not yet been passed. We assert that this is an attempt on the part of Oxford City Council to move out people they consider to be low-value residents out of desirable neighbourhoods, effectively evicting people from the city where they work and live. Oxford is a city which is feeling a brunt of the housing crisis, with rising homelessness, and living on boats remains one of the last affordable and sustainable ways of living in the city. It's worth mentioning that Oxford is the only authority which is enforcing the waterways with the use of the Public Space Protection Order. It is really, really important that we get on top of this, because we understand that Bath and Cambridge are considering similar PSPOs and are looking for Oxford for precedence. There is great opportunity here to embrace expertise, goodwill and experience of residential boaters in order to generate a positive alternative.